side of it. There was introduced what was called three-tier broadcasting. And basically it consisted of a major middle-of-the-road program, which was to be the YA stations, a popular radio program, which was to be the ZB stations, the commercial stations, and a third program, which was a combination of the then YC stations, now known as RNZ Concert. And these were to be for what they described then as the discerning listener, and was based on the BBC third program. A committee was set up to put all of this plan into operation, and I can remember being a member of the development committee. Each station, of course, then was operating separately. They were not networked as they are nowadays, so it was quite a complicated situation. I remember that one of my jobs as a presentation officer, the senior presentation officer then, I think, was to provide what was called spoken fill-ins for this so-called YC program for the discerning listener. These spoken fill-ins were to be used when programs ran short, so that if it was coming up to the hour or the time that the next program was due to begin and there was a gap, instead of just fading in music, as was the usual style of things, these were specially timed short tracks of spoken material, of poetry, of little bits of prose, of sometimes readings from letters, and they made a very interesting fill up until the time, instead of the everlasting music. The problem was that it was a very good idea and made very good radio, but each time one was used, it couldn't actually be used again for about another 4 or 5 months. And we began to run out, and it was a panic. I will never forget. We're out of spoken fills, get some more spoken fills, Peter, get some more spoken fills, we need some more. And so it went on. It only lasted really for a couple of years, I think, and then the whole idea was abandoned. It was a good idea, but we couldn't actually keep up with it. The problem was, too, of course, we could only use written material that was out of copyright. We couldn't use anything where the author had not been dead for more than 50 years, so that complicated the matters, too. There was one big demand made at this particular time, too, with the three-tier situation, and for the first time it was decreed that the YA stations should not now encroach on anything that the ZB stations, the commercial stations, were doing, that we must have our programs as complementary and not get into their territory. Well, that was fair enough, and I have to admit that we did encroach from time to time, but not seriously. But it did place the YAs at something of a disadvantage in that they couldn't really get into totally popular type material. So that was 1950. That was a big program change in 1950. But to get back to what I was doing, 1950 was also the year in which the famous Oberammergau Passion Play was staged in southern Germany. What's that got to do with New Zealand? Well, I'll tell you. It was usually held every 10 years, on the 0 year of the decade, although because of the war, it hadn't been performed in 1940. There'd been a special one in 1934 to mark the 300th anniversary of the event, but nothing since, until, that is, 1950. I thought it would be quite a good idea to write a radio feature program about the play and its history, and I managed to locate quite a lot of information about it, although there weren't anywhere near the number of books written about it as there are now. But I wanted to find someone who'd actually attended one of the performances, and because the last had been 16 years earlier, this wasn't exactly easy. However, eventually, out in the suburb of Newtown in Wellington, I found 2 sisters who'd seen the play in 1934. Neither was willing to come into the studio and be recorded or have their names mentioned on the radio, but one of them, bless her, had kept a diary, and she offered to lend it to me. So from that, I concocted a description of the occasion as seen through an anonymous woman's eyes. I can't remember her name, although I see in the script I have labelled her, anonymously of course, as Mrs. Reed, so perhaps that was it. Now, again, no recordings were kept of the Oberammergau Passion Play, but we have done a little recreation and we were able to play some excerpts.
In the year 1633, Europe was stricken with a typhus plague. It swept the countryside, bringing deaths to thousands who crossed its path. Wherever fires were seen blazing at the entrance of towns, the wanderer fled in horror, lest he also was seized by the Black Pest and thrown into the raging fire. Death crossed the rivers, penetrated the forests, and covered the whole of the European plain with its dark mantle.